You know, most people are surprised to learn one of the world's top bird-watching destinations is right here in Texas. The Santa Ana Wildlife Refuge also happens to be a hot spot for drug and human smuggling, putting it at the center of the border wall controversy. The nature sanctuary sits on the Rio Grande River just 15 miles southeast of McAllen, about 4.5 hours from San Antonio. I drove down there to see it firsthand and spoke with wildlife groups and residents who told me the refuge is now being threatened.
For most birders, it's a place that they dream about to come at least once in their lifetime, if not more.
Rare sights like this Altmira oriole,
And one doesn't see that outside of the valley.
are the reason birders like Dr. Stephen Feldstein fly here from all over the country.
It's just like going to Grand Canyon or a place like that.
This 2,088 acres subtropical forest sits in the Rio Grande Valley at the U.S.-Mexico border.
The plant life is just as diverse as the wildlife here.
But all that diversity at the Santa Ana Wildlife Refuge is now in danger, says biologist Tiffany Kirsten.
It would run the entire 3 miles along this levee here.
She's talking about the wall.
We will build a great wall along the southern border.
President Trump has been promising since he first started campaigning.
This levee at the entrance of the Santa Ana Wildlife Refuge will most likely be the starting point of the border wall. It'll go up on the south side of the levee where rocks and dirt will be replaced with 18 feet of concrete. On top of it, steel bollards. Now, the wall would eventually cut right through the refuge, separating the visitor center from the park.
Home to more than 400 different kinds of birds, the Texas tortoise, half of the butterfly species in North America, and the ocelot, which is now endangered.
There are about 50 to 75 of them left remaining in the United States, and those are all in South Texas. So likely, if a border wall is built, that will cut off the United States population from the Mexico population. Eventually, they'll become so inbred that they'll become extinct in the United States.
Just 8.5 miles west of Santa Ana, there's already a huge barrier built under the Bush administration. A new wall at the refuge will look similar to this. In addition to that, a 150-foot area would have to be cleared for an enforcement zone.
I do think that we do live in an area that does need some help with immigration control.
Longtime resident Deborah Rodriguez says there's a need for the wall.
I wouldn't necessarily mind a wall.
But she adds, not at the cost of this natural treasure.
I think I'm more scared of
We know
them
that
right
kids that explore nature and live in nature have happy lives.
The government already owns this land, so it makes it easier to break ground here. But the fate of so many things in this refuge is now up in the air.
They haven't told us whether or not, if a wall was put up, whether or not visitors would be allowed behind it.
Visitors like Dr. Feldstein, who've come to appreciate precious moments like this.
So to lose what perhaps is the best place in terms of nature in the whole valley would be tragic.
If the wall is funded and the visitor center closes, Kirsten says it could have an impact on ecotourism, which brings in more than $400 million a year to this part of the Rio Grande Valley. And just last week, wildlife groups held a rally at the refuge, hoping to send Congress a strong message while they wait and see what lawmakers will come up with for the border wall funding. Barry?